There's not another game out there like The Last of Us Factions that has the same thrill and excitement and intense gameplay and subtle music that really draws in people and players. It's been incredible. October, as I'm sure some of you know, The Last of Us Part 2 is free this October, and so if you're watching this and you don't have The Last of Us, I recommend getting it. However, we're going to be talking about some very promising news regarding factions for Part 2 of The Last of Us. Now, this is an article provided by Games Radar. Thank you to Great Games Radar. If you want to read the article, it will be in the description below for you to read. And it states that The Last of Us co-creator knows Naughty Dog's multiplayer plans, promises that it's extremely ambitious. And then I also have something else following it, which is going to be some tweets. But essentially, the article goes, Bruce Straley, co-director of The Last of Us, is promising fans that the studio's multiplayer plans are extremely ambitious. Naughty Dog confirmed last week, or probably 2 weeks from now actually, that its upcoming sequel would not include the series' celebrated Factions multiplayer mode, later clarifying that it's now being developed as a separate spin-off beyond The Last of Us Part 2's release date of February 21st, 2020. While a tinge of disappointment may have underscored some of The Last of Us Part 2 news to come out of the week's Outbreak Day event because of the announcement, the delay would be for good reasons, quote-unquote there, according to Bruce Straley, the veteran Naughty Dog alumni who left the studio around 2018 and is largely responsible for creating the story and the world of The Last of Us alongside the sequel's lead director, Neil Druckmann, weighed in on the news on Twitter. So Bruce Straley stated on Twitter on September 27th, 2019, maybe 2 weeks ago from now, okay, I gotta clear some stuff up. Please read the whole Twitter thread. Most of you get my humor, and the responses to my earlier tweets have cracked me up, but some of you, I get that I poked at a sensitive nerve with Part 2's multiplayer. Let me assure you, I know that the team very well, and trust them thoroughly. I also know what they're working on, and I can attest that single player and multiplayer are both extremely ambitious. I can only joke because I'm friends with these people and I have absolute faith in what they're doing. All we ever strived to do at Naughty Dog was deliver the best experiences we possibly could. This sometimes meant moving around staff in order to deliver on our promises. And if that means multiplayer is delayed for a little bit, or for a bit this time around, oh my god, I'm reading things that aren't even here. Well, I can guarantee it's for good reasons. Lastly, I really appreciate the passion multiplayer fans have for the mode. We worked super hard to make it something special, and as much as my tweet may have stung, I want to say thanks for digging the game so much. I too had the most epic multiplayer matches playing Factions, so I get it. Now, following that, the article says that I guarantee you're going to be stoked to get your hands on both modes, Straley continued. But yeah, you got to let them do their thing. Have faith. You're in good hands. Your time will come. Straley's comments will come as reassuring news to hordes of The Last of Us fans, including myself, still playing Factions multiplayer to this day, as a slightly longer wait for a much more ambitious iteration of the hard-as-nails PvP mode in it is a bargain that most will be willing to take, especially as The Last of Us Part 2's campaign is apparently the biggest Naughty Dog game to date. Now, following that news, about 24 hours ago, from the time in which I'm recording this video, Naughty Dog, on their official Naughty Dog Jobs Twitter account, said that, heads up, Naughty Dog is looking for a talented online systems programmer to join our team. Visit link for details, #GameJobs. Now, a lead game designer for both single player and multiplayer at Naughty Dog for The Last of Us Part 2, named Vineet Agarwal, great dude by the way, he essentially quoted the tweet or retweeted it, basically saying, seriously, something is happening. You want to be part of this, get an incredible amount of ownership, work with us. Now, you know, I know Vineet Agarwal, he worked tirelessly on creating the I guess it was the player versus computer version of Uncharted 4's survival mode, which was great. It was visually pleasing, it was fun, at times a little frustrating, but nonetheless, it was a fun, very fun iteration of what was as a cool and decent survival mode in Uncharted 3. Because I don't believe Vinny ever worked on Uncharted 3, or maybe he did, I don't know. But nonetheless, to hear, and now this is not the only individual at Naughty Dog. It's not just Bruce Straley, it's not Vinny Dargawal. There's also Ed, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's like the programmer there. He's been quoting stuff. Everyone's been quoting. So I'm led to believe, as a fan of Naughty Dog and their talents, that something isn't just cooking. We're not just going to be stoked about The Last of Us Part 2's faction. We're going to be losing our mind to how incredible it is. Like, I'm having photos, pictures in my head about a cool Battle Royale mode, perhaps, maybe a nice PvP mode. Like, they're going to do a lot because, listen, as we've seen from The Last of Us Part 2's gameplay, it's incredibly tense. And you're playing against enemy, like, AI. Like, you look at something comparatively to Uncharted 4 here. Uncharted 4, I mean, whenever I went against AI, very advanced AI at that game as well, they never scared me. Even if I was playing on hard, it was never scary. And I know The Last of Us is a completely different tone from Uncharted, but I'm trying to say that the gameplay is Naughty Dog's able to really showcase this very tense and very graphic gameplay with Part 2, and to have that translated onto The Last of Us factions it scares me, because the game looks incredible, and to have that on a factions PvP mode is going to be horrifying. The amount of competitiveness that's going to strive from that, hopefully, and success and whatever they're I'm led to believe that they are probably going to also work on some form of survival mode as well, in terms of not like a battle royale mode, but with like clickers and possibly bloaters and the shamblers now and the stalkers, runners, and all these different versions of the cordyceps fungus implemented into the multiplayer to really create this I guess variety for multiplayer, and to really allow people to have just have different options, right? And it's going to be really cool to see them to make this multiplayer as grand as they can. And based off of the prone, just the explosive arrow, some of the guns, I'm sure they're going to find a way to limit all of that and condense it into a little bit more of a better multiplayer. But I'm still freaking excited, right? The fact that Bruce Straley, like, I never knew he left in 2018. I thought he left a little earlier, like right after Uncharted 4. But apparently he left last year. So I thought he rejoined Naughty Dog, but nonetheless, he knows what's going on, and he's a former employee there, right? And for him to say those kind of things on Twitter, and to have Vinny Dargawal as well, lead game designer, to be like, listen, you want to be a part of this. If you're a game developer, if you've got talent, you have to join this team. It's going to be incredible. And there's not another human being in this world who can tell me otherwise, because I know it's going to be incredible. And I'm extremely excited and happy and proud of Naughty Dog to be able to do something like this. I know what it looks like. It's like, wow, people will be like, yo, dude, why you keep talking about Naughty Dog in the multiplayer? But I like the multiplayer, right? And anybody who doesn't, that's their opinion. But listen, it's a good multiplayer. Like, there's such a nice thrill to it, and excitement that I get of just being able to down someone, and it's fun. So I'm excited, and I'm really hopeful for this multiplayer as well, and I'm really glad to see Bruce Straley kind of shed some light, although he doesn't technically work at Naughty Dog, as well as Vinny and all these different developers at Naughty Dog, really being proud of their work, and telling people, like, listen, you want to be a part of something like this because you want the recognition, you want the ownership of, yeah, I made that. Put that on my resume because I freaking made that. I'm beyond excited. No one can tell me other. Like, I'm so excited. I'm just hoping that Part 2's factions doesn't end up being a whole standalone game. And if it is, cool, but I really hope it's within that time, within this first 6 months. I don't want it to be a year after. I'm going to be like, yeah, whatever. All right, I'm still be excited, but like, the hype is going to die down, and then it's going to be like, okay, 6 months later, we finally get a multiplayer. But we just gotta have patience, as Bruce Straley said himself. You gotta have some patience. You're in good hands. Your time will come. So I guess our time will come eventually. But anyhow, thank you for watching. Of course, if you're new to my channel, I would appreciate it if you subscribed, like the video as well. And with that being said, I've been TheStarkz. Peace.